So, welcome to the Diary of a Startup
Thank
Founder. So,
you.
this is page one. So, we're starting off the page one with Ruchira, who is the co
Ah,
founder of Balantra
yes.
and also Ruchira Supper Club. You have started Ruchira Supper
Yes.
Club.
Oh my god, yes, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to come to the Valentine's Day one. I didn't buy the tickets yet, but I will.
Come. Come. Just come. Just come.
So, I want to know how your life was before Queens. How was it in India? How was your bachelor's? How was all that?
Oh my god. Firstly, I'm still getting over the fact that like I have headphones on and we have a mic, and this is like a whole actual like that is so cool because I'm such a podcast girly. Like I love listening to podcasts. Um, so okay, so where it all began. Um, so okay, how far back are we talking? Like
Just
bachelor's?
bachelor's. Just
Yeah, okay.
bachelor's.
So I grew up in a place called Velur in Tamil Nadu. So that's where I spent my first 18 years of my life. I was born in Bangalore,
Mm.
and then my mom's from Bangalore, and then my dad lived in Vellore his
Mhm.
entire life for generations. And
Mhm.
then my mom obviously moved because marriage, whatever. And then when I was 18, was the first time, actually 17 technically, was the first time
Mhm.
I ever moved out of home.
Mm.
And it was COVID, so it wasn't the best. It was like I spent the first year of my bachelor's online, and then like midway through second year, I got to move, and it was so much fun. I feel like in my head when I was entering my bachelor's, I kind of had a plan, which is I'm gonna take the first year to figure things out, to figure out what the it shit is, to figure out. I'm sorry, I don't know if I should.
It's
I'm not
okay.
gonna swear. Okay, what the it stuff is, and then what career paths I can choose, and things like that, and literally how I can be the best at what I can
Mhm.
be at. So then in my first year, I realized that probably if I want to get best at university, I had this perception that probably being part of like the student council might help. So then I contested for student council, and we had like elections and everything, and yeah, elections was super stressful. Like I don't think I'd ever want to do that process again. I am
The politics.
politics. I am a bit of a people pleaser. I do like, talking to people and stuff, but I think asking people for votes is a whole other ball game, and it's so annoying. So, did council second year, and then third year, pretty much the entirety of third year, I was working. I That's when I got into marketing. So, I did a job with this company called Work India. It was an internship, and we were in what was called the growth team, marketing team, and I was the first one kind of tasked to take care of influencer marketing. And it's not even the kind of influencer marketing that's more, find influencers and then collaborate with these big influencers. No, we were looking for meme pages. We were looking for like pages literally called shitpost 69, like, like this kind of, because that's where the target audience was
Yeah.
for Work India, and it made sense. So my job was literally like hunt down loads of like local meme pages, reach out to them, see how much they charge for a post, for a story, and things like that, and then kind of do that. So I had a lot of fun doing that. I had a lot of fun. And then I went to this other company based in Ahmedabad. It was a remote job. So I went to this other company, and there I was a proper like influencer marketing manager. So it was kind of like brands would come to us and say, I want these type of influencers, and then we would find them and then kind of make that connection happen. And it was really cool. So yeah, I think
That's
that's
fun.
that's what my life was before Queens or before Belfast. And I think I had a lot of fun. I have no regrets. I made like loads of stupid mistakes, and I've had loads of lows in that life, but I don't think I'd change anything about it. I love it.
Well, you go through things and then, you
Yeah.
live and learn.
Yeah.
But so that was your first taste of marketing.
Yes.
So that's what kind of inspired you to do marketing in Queens.
Yeah, but funnily enough, my bachelor's was something called journalism, English, and psychology. It was a triple major course.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
because at that time I wanted to be a journalist. Like this was way before ChatGPT, right? So I thought I'd be like a good content writer, and I wanted to do content writing and things like that. But then I realized that journalism actually is a very low paying job. And I wanted to make money. Like, I really wanted to
I need the
make
cash.
bank. I need the cash. So then I was like, maybe not my thing. And then marketing seemed, I wouldn't say a bit similar, but like, almost like second cousins. So I thought, okay, maybe let me do marketing. And I, most of my, I think I did start my first job when I was like transitioning from grade 12 to first year of bachelor's.
Mm.
Like during that summer break was when I did my first job, and it was content writing. Yeah, it was for a startup that was owned by one of my sister's friends. So she went to Christ, and in Bangalore it's like a
Yeah.
big university, and yeah, there's just so many people that want to do startups in Christ University. And then she connected me with them, and then I think I was getting paid like 800 rupees a month, 1,000 rupees a month, which is, for context, like 8 to 10 pounds a month for content writing. So that's where it started.
Wow. So that's what brought you to marketing and just
Yeah,
like, that's fun.
thank you.
So how was like I know that you did the co-builders. Now it's called co-builders
Yeah,
program, but it was called co-founders when you were doing it.
yeah.
So how was that? Is that how Balantra started?
That is, yes, how Balantra started. But the story of how I started what was called co-founders is actually really funny. So basically, I saw that there were applications for the co-founders program through the SU Enterprise newsletter, and then I applied for it. And at that time, I was staying with my sister and brother-in-law, who also live in Northern Ireland, who live in Lisbon. And then I told my brother-in-law and my sister that I've applied for this program. And then my brother-in-law was like, I know somebody last year from my company that was on the program as well. And then he was like, is there any way I can join? Like, is there any way maybe I can be your teammate or something? And then I said, yeah, yeah, I can mail them and then I can ask them. And then I mailed them. And they said, yeah, fine. If he wants to be your teammate, then that's okay. And then literally, and I hope nobody from co-founders is watching this, because literally for the co-founders program, we came up with a business idea.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
just so that we can be part of the program. Because it just looked like such a fun program. So for context, it's basically like, it's literally what it's called. Like, it's where you go and then there's like 100 different people, and probably about 50 of them want to join another person's idea and be a co-founder, and the other 50 have ideas and are looking for co-founders. So it's literally like, matchmaking for co-founders. And it was such a cool thing. And then my brother-in-law and I went into that program with what we called Service Pocket, which was literally a copycat of a company that exists in India called Urban Company. So it's basically like services like plumbing, gardening, electricity, like things
Yeah.
like that.
Handyman.
Handyman, but through an app was the idea. So we didn't. So how that program works is that you go through phase 1, 2, and 3, and it's almost like a competition where only like out of 50 teams, 40 make it to phase 1, 30 make it to phase 2, like that. So we didn't make it through phase 2. So at that time, we had the option of either choosing another team, like being part of another team, or calling it quits and being like bye bye. And then I loved everything about, like, the startups and like finding
Entrepreneurship.
entrepreneurship and I want to be a boss girl, and I loved everything about it, and I had my eyes on this company from the beginning. At that time, we were called Funky Drinks, and the founder of Funky Drinks, Paul, is just such an awesome guy, and I knew I wanted to work with him. And it was in the food and drink space, and I'm super passionate about food businesses and creating food businesses. So then I knew that I wanted to be part of his startup. So then I knew that's what I wanted to do. And my brother-in-law, on the other hand, was like, I can't wait to get out of here. Like, I just can't. I hate startups. But no, that's not how he'd say it. But he loves his job, and he's really good at his job, and he loves his 9 to 5, and he's got loads of experience. So he was like, I want to go back to that. So yeah, that's what co-founders was, and we won the program. I feel like I placed my bets right with
You
Paul
did.
because I knew that Paul would make it, and then I was like,
Shout out to Paul.
shout out to Paul.
So that's how Balantra was found, from funky drinks to
Yes.
Balantra.
Yes.
Brilliant. So Balantra is like a fiber supplement company,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
So, fiber is something not a lot of people think about.
Yeah.
Like till like you told me about this, I was like, oh yeah, I need that in my diet actually.
Yeah.
So, and I'm a vegetarian. So being a
Yes.
vegetarian, that's another challenge. You know, like finding
Absolutely.
protein,
Yeah.
vitamin D, anything basically.
Yeah.
You're like you need to hunt for vegetables and nuts, anything you can find.
Yeah.
So why did you want to make something so simple and everyday use instead of something like flashy, like out there?
So the thing is actually even so there's two things: the benefits of fiber and then the formula that we've come up with at Balantra. So to tell you a bit of context to the like the structure of the product that we've come up with, it is really personal to me because when I was a kid, like growing up, I was a very picky eater, like very picky eater. Like my lunch for the longest time was literally just rice, ghee, and salt. And I would not eat anything else. And I felt like I saw a lot of those problems as an adult. I have horrible skin, and I and my body has 1,000 other different problems. And I knew that was mainly because of poor diet. And I feel like in university that diet like improved a lot, but I'm still to a very large extent very picky with the kind of foods I eat and the tastes I like. So the Balantra formula that we have right now is basically the main ingredient is called a soluble maize fiber. It's the same kind of fiber you would find in chia seeds, flax seeds. Like you know how like if you mix chia seeds or flax seeds with water,
Yeah.
it clumps up. But this fiber that we use, soluble maize fiber, it's the same goodness and the properties of that kind of fiber, but it does not clump up. So even if I take a scoop of the Balantra flavored powder and then I mix it with water, my water will look, taste, and feel like water. Like you can't even tell that there's anything in it. And I wanted to build a supplement that discreet because I feel like that's the only way I would take it. Because it is really hard for me to like, again, like you said, incorporate a lot of like fruit and veg in my diet. So, and I know for me, like every day, my staple is at least water. Or me being Indian, I love dal,
Yeah.
lentil soup. Like I need dal almost every day. So adding a scoop of balantra to my dal and then not even realizing that my dal is fiber rich is, so seamless. And I wanted to build that level of seamlessness. And we were able to achieve that. And now, luckily, we are selling Balantra, and it's being bought by a company called Fiber Up.
Fiber up.
Yeah, so Fiber Up is also amazing. So they do carbonated drinks. They have 3 flavors. They have apple elderflower, raspberry lemonade, mango passion fruit, and next week, literally next, or I'm sure by the time this video is out, it's already in Centra Super Value Mace. Centra and Mace is mostly in Belfast City Centre as well. So I might also be there giving you samples of
Oh my God,
Fiber
I'll
Up to
come.
try. Please come, try. So I'm very excited that Balantra is being bought by Fiber Up. And they're going to expand into the supplements, and they're going to expand into the same kind of formula that we've developed, and take it even more forward. So that's very exciting stuff. But yes, coming back to what you were asking, fiber is very, very easily overlooked. A lot of people don't understand that, especially guys that take a lot of protein. Like a lot of that protein is not even getting absorbed if you don't have enough fiber in your body. Like I think only now, like people are looking at the back of the pack and seeing, does something have enough fiber, does it actually have enough fiber. And I feel like one thing that people overlook is, say I grab a product from the store, it says high in fiber on front of the pack. The thing that most people don't know is that for a product to say that it's high in fiber, it only needs to hit like a certain amount of fiber. Like for example, human beings, adults, require 30 grams of fiber per day. That's your required daily amount. But even if I just have 5 grams of fiber in my product, I can claim on front of pack legally and I can say that a product is high in fiber. But the truth is it's not.
not.
It's not. How much is 5%? It's a very tiny percentage. But with Balantra or even with Fiber Up, one can gives 50% of your required daily fiber, which is On can, it's actually 16 grams. They give so a bit over 50% of required daily fiber. And Balantra as well, each serving provides about 13 grams of fiber. And even like kind of, paying attention to that is so important. And okay, now I feel like I've lost you. I don't know what
No,
I was
no, no, I
talking about
understand.
anymore. Sorry, yes.
Don't worry.
Yes, the question. Sorry.
No, but I love that because I feel like right now a lot of like the younger generation now they don't understand the value of like certain vitamins and certain like protein or fiber that they need. They don't
Yeah.
understand. They just eat whatever they're given. So, people need to be educated on like things like this and understanding how much our body needs and everything. So,
Yeah.
congratulations for the
Thank
acquisition of
you.
Balantra.
But the even when you're talking about how like kids aren't being more aware of the fact that they need fiber and things like that, I feel like that's changing a lot. Because to give you an example, like literally yesterday, like so a couple of Sundays, we are test trading in St. George's Market.
Yes.
So we were selling both Fiber Up and Balantra in St. George's Market. So again, because it's Balantra supplement, we can't really sample it. We sample the Fiber Up cans, like different flavors. And yesterday, there were two kids. They definitely looked like they were about 13, 14, definitely younger, probably. And they were both exchange students from Spain. They came through school and then they were just like touring St. George's Market. And these two boys were just there on their own. And then I said, would you like to try free sample? And then they tried it and they loved it. And they really, really loved it. And I was like, do you know this has 50% of your required daily fiber? I knew for a fact that that pitch wouldn't land with them because I
Mm.
don't think they care about fiber as much as they care about the
Yeah.
caffeine content or the sugar content.
Yeah.
But none of the cans also don't have any sugar in them, any caffeine in them. And I said that to them, and then they seemed to like that. Like they seem to like the fact that, oh wow, there's fiber in it. That's amazing. Oh wow, there's no sugar in it. That's amazing. Because
I wasn't like this when I was a kid.
it wasn't like I'm pretty sure that even now, if I go to one of my guy friends and I'm like fiber, and no sugar, and it's so much more better, and it tastes way better than your Monster, they'll be like, go that side, man. Throw all this in the dustbin, man. Like I'm not drinking
No,
this.
thank
Like
you.
no, thank you. But like those kids seemed so interested, and even only through like this St. George's Market test street, we also realized that so it's obviously safe for kids as well because it's really healthy, absolutely no sugar, and all of the flavorings are all naturally derived from fruit. It's natural fruits. So we parents try to give it to their kids as well to try it and things like that, and it's been great. Like the toddlers and kids love it, and they are pulling their parents, and they're like, I want this. And that's an angle we never thought of. Like we never thought that kids would be interested. To give you more context, I even have a cousin who's 8 years old, and she's probably like 9 now, and she's in Newbury.
Oh.
And my aunt, her mom, is very, very, very health conscious. Like she's super careful about what she gives, what food they have, and all that. And this 8-year-old also, she looks at back of pack, and she looks and then she sees, oh my god, this is healthy. This is not.
Oh
Her
my God.
snack is a multivitamin. Like she just goes to the drawer and grabs a gummy, like a multivitamin gummy. She's like, oh, I love this gummy. And even like, her mom doesn't even give her like hot chocolate, like hot chocolate powder, like proper with cacao, with very little sugar, like bitter hot. Like I couldn't drink her hot chocolate because it was too bitter for me. And I was like, wow. Like, and I'm so happy that that's the generation we're building. And I really hope that this is the case for India as well. Because
Mm.
I really wish that's, but I feel like the future is looking very, very, very bright, food wise and health wise for kids.
That's really good to know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's just our generation. Then, like, I used to
Yeah.
look at something colorful, be like, I want that. I don't care about the
Yes!
sugar. I don't
Like
care about the
cotton
flavor.
candy and
Yes.
like street food.
Oh my god, the Cocoa Pops I found in Tesco. I'm like, I want that.
Oh my
I
god.
don't care if it has sugar. I
Yes.
don't care.
Yeah.
Mm. It's just our generation, I guess. It's
Yes.
okay. That's fine. So, like moving from Balantra to Ruchira Supper Club, was there an identity shift that you had?
Yeah, so the thing is, Balantra for me has been very much work, 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 work. Like, it has been very much, I want to build this company and I want to get this happening and I want this and I want to hit stores and, I would say it's kind of tiring. And the thing is, building a startup is nice and all, but like, I feel like you lose a big chunk of your life in a way because it is very much like my hours are all over the place. I feel like I've lost jobs and I haven't been uh, able to be as good at some jobs that I might have taken up, because something or other will keep coming up with Balantra, and it's just managing different things. It stresses you out and it emotionally drains you out. And I felt like I grew apart from a lot of friends because of that. And it wasn't just that. Like, it was also like, I feel like as you kind of grow up, people move away because everyone's just more busy with their
Busy,
lives.
yeah.
Everyone
Things are
has
happening.
has something or the other to do. So I wanted to do some, and I've always loved cooking for people, and I always love having people over and making food for them. Also, partly because I just don't know how to cook for one person. And I just don't know how to just cook for, like, every time I cook for myself, there's always food left over. And I always like, oh, I wish there was somebody else that I could just give this food to. And I really love cooking as well. Um, so I thought, let me start the supper clubs as a way where I dictate what the menu is, and it's food that I love. And I want to get people to try that food that's part of like my culture, and food that is super, super, super special to me. And I want to meet new people along that journey, and I want to be friends with different people and say hi. And yeah, that's kind of been the whole thought process behind the supper club. And touch wood, surprisingly, it's been really good so far.
I've seen.
Because we started our first supper club on 23rd December, which was
Yeah.
actually a stupid thing to do, because I did not realize how busy Christmas time is for everybody. And when we were trying to like invite different people, send across links and stuff, like, it was in the beginning quite hard to convince people to come on 23rd, but we still regardless sold out, and we still regardless were able to fill the room. And I think that meant the world to me. And then since then, we've been able to like fill the entire room full of people, and it's been really great. I just, for me, even like just going grocery shopping for the supper club is therapy. Like, it
Oh,
just,
road
it's
shopping is
so
so fun.
yeah, especially, have you been to the Boucher Road range?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, I could just live in the Boucher Road range. Like, it's so pretty. Like, even like looking at like decor and
I
flowers
spent
and
like 3 hours
like,
in there. I buy nothing.
yeah,
I
and
just
I'm
go.
just in IKEA for no reason, and
So fun.
oh my god, it's so good. And I
I go
just,
to IKEA for the food though.
yes,
The food is good.
the food's good. The
Food is
food's
good.
good. Yeah, so yeah, the supper club is something that I do because it just makes me so happy.
Oh, that's sweet.
Thank you.
I remember coming to your first supper
Yes.
club.
Yes.
I was a little late though,
It's
but it was fun. It
okay.
was I met a lot of new people.
Yeah.
A lot of tea was spilled. Everything was good.
Yeah. And it didn't even feel like a room full of like completely new strangers. Like,
Yeah,
all of them were super open to
it
like,
felt like I knew these people for like a
yeah.
long time. Like I was like when I was talking with them, I was like, right, this is just like it's fun. Like I
Yeah.
didn't feel like it was like anything new. It was fun.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? And I said this to the group that came to my last supper club as well. Like, it feels like a girl's bathroom in a pub or in a party. Like,
It's so
when you
fun.
yeah when you go into even like a restaurant, if you go into a girl's bathroom and you're just having a bad day, like, the girls will hype you up. It could be a girl you've never seen in your life before, but she will like hype you up like there's
She's
no
like, you look
tomorrow.
good.
You
You're
look
fine.
amazing.
Like
Yeah,
that,
like, you
literally.
got this. Like, break up with your boyfriend now. Like, like, yeah, like, get the
The advice.
girl. The advice. And it's just, yeah, that's the vibe I want to create.
You definitely did. You definitely. That's
Yay!
how I felt. I'm looking
Woohoo!
forward to the Valentine's Day one.
Yes!
Can't wait.
Oh, yay!
But did you have like a moment like in your first supper club where you're like, this is why I'm doing this? Where you just had that moment when you're in the kitchen or when you were out like just talking to us? Was there anything that clicked for you and you were like, this is it?
I think the moment where it clicked for me and it was like, this is why I'm doing this, is when people ate the food and I could see the reaction of how much they loved the food. I think that was just like, this is why I do this. Like, when anybody comes to my house and they eat my food and they say they like my food, it melts my heart. Like it just
Oh,
absolutely melts my heart.
you're a
So
really good cook though.
thank you.
Really good cook.
Thank you.
I went home after the supper club and I was
Yeah.
so full. I was like in a food coma. I was like, I'm gonna lay down.
That's the whole point, right? Like, because I think for me, even when I think of, like being fed, it just reminds me of my grandma. Like, we would spend summers in Bangalore, and to my grandma, if you say like no, she'll only keep giving you more and more and more and more and more. And I just wanted to throw that kind of like love, our
Oh,
dedicated love.
you
So
did. You did. Um, but like it must have been difficult for you to like plan everything. So and even for Balantra and like even for the supper club, was there any like sacrifices you had to make through you know when I mean you were doing this when you were studying as well, so that's another challenge.
um yeah, sacrifices. Well, definitely. But I feel like more than sacrifice, I think I was kind of slipping quite a bit.
Mm.
It was like, so when I was doing Balantra, there was a point during the end of my uni where I was doing an internship placement, and I had to do like my final internship research report and Balantra, and and I also wanted to make sure that the place where I was doing my internship would keep me on. So like I wanted to,
Ooh.
like, I wanted to be good at five different things. I wanted to, and I feel like I hate this about myself. I feel like I always do this. I always try and do like too many different things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, most times it actually doesn't. But I don't think that's ever made me stop though. Like I feel like, see, even now technically, yes, I'm doing the supper club also, and yes, I'm still like kind of in this transition with Balantra Fiber Up and working there and blah blah blah. And it's like there's always multiple things happening, but I kind of like it, but I also kind of feel like I don't. It's kind of like a toxic thing.
I'm like that.
Yeah,
I'm doing
but
Balveda, I'm doing this at the
yeah,
same.
yeah, and it's like I feel like it's okay sometimes to do
It's
that.
completely
I mean,
okay.
yeah, what might not be okay is obviously to not be like, I feel like with the place where I was doing my internship went well, and then I did get to continue working for the, and actually that company was phenomenal. Like they were actually so accommodative of the fact that I had a startup. They, after my internship, they kind of like made my hours in a way that was super flexible, for how I could work around that. But it just got to a point where I wasn't doing justice to that job. Like I just wasn't able to give it my all, and I feel like it's the same now with a bit of like freelance work that I do. I try and do a bit of like freelance marketing, but I feel like I just sometimes don't have the time to do my freelance marketing work anymore because I have taken up the supper club, or I'm doing something else, or it's different things. But I feel like, what, whatever it is, I'm having fun. I feel like I'm going in the right direction, and I feel like I'm able to see a little bit of the results, and I'm able to see people loving the supper clubs. I'm able to see people loving our Balantra products. I'm able to see kids loving fiber up drinks, and
Yes.
like it's. I feel like at the end of the day, it's just rewarding when people try a can of fiber up and they say they love it. When people eat a spoon of my food in supper club, they say they love it. Like that gives me ultimate satisfaction and hype. So
Well, as a person who have tasted both, I drank the fiber up drink. Like the
yay!
night I came back from supper club, I was like,
Woohoo!
oh, I want to drink this. It
Yeah,
looks so colorful, right?
yeah,
Like the child in me, just like, yes, it looks nice. I'm gonna have it. I drank it
yay!
all, and
Yes.
then the supper club food, delicious.
Oh my
So
god.
from me, to you, amazing. You're doing
Thank
amazing
you.
job, honestly.
I try.
My
Thank you.
mom took all my Balantra packets and she added them to like everything. So
Good.
I don't know what
That's
I
the
don't.
way to do it.
She's like, I'm
That's
just
the way to do.
gonna.
See, but that's the whole point. Like you don't even know that
Literally, I
yeah.
didn't know she added to like she told me she's like, oh yeah, by the way, your friends like company. I'm like, what? What are you talking? Like this is a random afternoon. She comes
Yeah.
and tells me this. So my entire family enjoys it.
Yay.
So yes, we're gonna ask this question to every single person,
Mm.
every single startup founder that we interview. What's one thing that no one told you about being a startup founder?
Oh. Oh. Um I feel like Actually, like okay, I'll try and think of an answer for what you asked,
Mm-hmm.
but when you're asking that, what comes to my mind is actually something very different. It's about how like actually every startup related talk I've heard or I've seen, they always talk about imposter syndrome. But
Mm.
I felt like I've never, or I'm not somebody that would face imposter syndrome. Or, I feel like, yes, I'm working my butt off, and, I'm not going to be shy about it, and not like an imposter about it. But I feel like imposter syndrome is actually so real, man. Like, even speaking at this podcast, I'm like, what did I do to speak in this podcast, bro? Like, why you there's like 1,000 better people that you should be calling to be speaking at this podcast. But there's a reason why you called me, right? Like, there's something I've done in life to probably sit here. And I think it's getting used to that is real. I feel like people talk about its existence, but people don't talk about how real it is. And I don't really know how to like deal with it, because I feel like sometimes there'll be days where, like, for example, yesterday, um again, it was a Sunday, and that entire day from 9 till 3 4 p.m. we were doing the stall in St. George's Market, and then I came back home at 4, and then I had some food, and then I was just sitting on my bed, and I just wanted to watch something, and I just wanted to stretch my legs, and I was watching something, and then suddenly this guilt came over me, and I was like,
Mm.
am I just sitting and watching a movie and not doing anything better in life? Like, am I just like, what? Like, shouldn't I be like, maybe doing more to promote the supper club, or doing this or doing that? And it makes me feel guilty. But the truth is, I did work though. I did. From 9 to 4, I was in that stall, and I was standing the entire day, and it was a productive day. And obviously, there are some days when nothing happens during the day, but that's okay too. And I just don't know how to like kind of like slap myself and be like, just chill, like just relax. Like,
You deserve the break.
you
That's the
deserve the
thing.
break, it's okay.
Exactly.
But I feel like people will try and tell you the opposite, which I feel like is real, is that you need to hustle all the time, like you need to be working all the time. But I don't know. I feel like finding a realistic balance is something that I don't know much about. And nobody has told me about how to find the realistic balance, or where to find how do you know when you've worked enough, and when you haven't worked enough? Like, is it the results that speak? Is it the productivity amount that you've put in? Is it like what? How do you quantify it? Like, how can I tell myself that, okay, now I've worked X hours, so that's fine, so I can take a break? Or, okay, now I've achieved X results, so that's fine, and I can take a break. And how do I get my brain to get used to the fact that a break is okay? Is something I have not wrapped my head around. And I hope to learn, and I feel like that's something they don't teach you. And I feel like another thing they don't teach you, which is so important, which I feel like is definitely coming into mainstream conversation a lot more now, is that you will question yourself. You will have horrible downfalls.
Mm.
There will be times when you just won't know what to do, and it'll feel like the end of the world. But it's not. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. It feels like the end of the world at that point, but give it 2 days, it'll be fine. It's okay, and it'll pass. And I feel like the I think that's the biggest gift entrepreneurship has given me, because I'm somebody who's very like, if a tiny thing goes wrong, or if a tiny thing is out of my control,
Mm-hmm.
I panic. And I panic like
Me too.
crazy. Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm somebody that will go to the airport like 3 hours in advance, um, because I
Yeah.
want to be sure. Like,
I need to
it's
see my gate number. I need to see
yes,
everything. My
I know
boarding pass.
everything. Yeah, and even now, like, because I always fly like EasyJet or Ryanair, like on the app now, like they directly say where the gate number is even before it shows up on the board. And I'm always the first one in that line standing, like, yeah, I'm very like type A like that. So
It's the
yeah.
Indianness in us.
It's
It
Indianness.
is.
It's
It is.
it's Indianness. Yeah, and I feel like that type A me cannot handle the I don't know what's gonna happen. But I feel like the number one thing again about entrepreneurship is that you will never be in a situation where you're fully aware of what's gonna happen next. Like, you need to there'll be way too many situations where it's just like, I don't really know what's happening. Like, I don't really know what to do next. And you just have to be okay with it. You just have to take a deep breath. And that's why I feel like before, when I was a lot younger, when problems used to come up, in my head, I'd just go, oh shit, what, I don't know what to, I don't know what to do. But now I'm like, okay, problem has happened. Okay, so what is our plausible solution? Okay, this I can do to get rid of it. Okay, so I can, like, my brain does not automatically start
Mm.
going, but like now, whenever it's a professional problem, or say something related to Balantra,
Yeah.
something related to supper club, something related to like something professional, that's completely fine. And if it's something I don't know and it goes wrong, it's fine. And my alarms don't blare. But if my mom calls me, and if my mom says, like, recently I had posted this one like video of a recipe for Balantra, okay? And it was basically a video of kebabs. Um, like I basically made like these bean kebabs, and there was
I saw
Balantra
that.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Balantra was in, and then my mom sends me this long voice note about how, and I didn't notice this again. Apparently, when I was flipping the kebabs, the side was too burnt.
You observed that.
And she's going on and on about how, like, you don't know her what, why you're burnt kebabs, why you're putting in this video, it looks so bad, don't you know, you should have let it do this and let it. And then, like, those 5 minutes, I'm like, oh my god, what? Like, I don't know what it is, but like my mom's scolding me, it still kind of scares me, and I hope she does not get to hear this because I don't want her to think she has that control over me. But yeah, I think it's
They know that they do.
they know
They
they
know,
do.
honey.
They
They
know they do.
know.
Yeah, so yeah.
But so I feel like everyone goes through that kind of like time whenever you're like, I don't know if I'm doing enough. I don't know. Like, I think I need to do more. I feel like I've recently went through something like that as well. But the thing is, like, your standards are completely different to other people's standards.
Yeah.
Whatever is okay for you might be someone's amazing. Whatever is amazing for you might be someone's like, okay, it's fine. Like, I can do better. So I think it depends on perspective. But in my opinion, you're doing brilliant.
Oh, thank
You're doing
you.
amazing.
Like, I also feel like the thing is, right now, there are so
Mhm.
many, like, incredibly successful entrepreneurs at our age, right? Like, there's so many successful people in
So
our age.
many.
And I feel like it's just such a, like, oh, I need to be that
Exactly.
successful, but
Exactly.
I won't be. And it's okay. Like, there's very few like that. And I'm trying to maybe be like that. But even if I'm not, so what? Like,
It's okay.
it's
It's okay. The
it's
point of life is
okay.
just
Yeah.
enjoy,
Like,
have fun.
even in Belfast for that matter, like, obviously, even how small the entrepreneurial community is, like, it
Mm.
just gets to a point where everybody knows everybody. And I feel like I always see myself comparing myself to like 30-year-olds that have PhDs and that have like so much of experience and that knows so many things and have tried so many times and they've seen it all in life. And like, even in programs and stuff, in
Yeah.
pitch competitions, we constantly compete against people that have 30, 40 years of experience.
Exactly.
I haven't even been alive for 30 years, like, there's just so much more I need to learn and see and grow. And I feel like it's just unrealistic to compare yourself to people that have that kind of knowledge and power. Obviously you can, and the fact that I'm even competing against them is pretty cool, and I feel like that in itself is achievement enough for me.
Exactly.
But obviously I will try to
You're in the
win.
podcast, so
I'm in
you
the
know. You're in the
I'm in the
podcast.
podcast. I'm in the podcast.
The first one.
First one.
I feel like that's a thing. Like, everyone gets to their destination some ways. People take the lift, the escalator, the ladder, the stairs. It's okay.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
Yeah, you can't ask a fish to climb a tree.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think everyone's at the right place where they need to be. That's what it is. That's what it
Exactly.
is.
I think it's also just, it's not just standards set by me. I feel like my parents also, to a large
Mm-hmm.
extent, like, for them also, it's constantly like, oh, but why didn't you win this? Oh, but why haven't you gotten this? But it's like,
I'm
but
hearing that now.
I've gotten all these other things too. But I mean, that being said, I feel like I'm really lucky to have my parents. Like, they are very supportive. They are very like, I feel like sometimes my mom will have like these emotional tantrums
Mm.
and then be like, oh.
They want the best for
But
us.
yeah, but I know she's proud. and they tell me they're proud. And I feel like at the end of the day, when they tell me they're proud, nothing matters more. Like, you'll see my
Exactly.
mom commenting in like the supper club video, and she'll be like, proud of you, Chinnu. And I'm like, nobody
Aw.
calls me that. Can you not call me that? But it feels so nice, like they're able to see what I don't know if they completely understand what I do though. Like, I've tried to explain how Balantra is being bought by Fiber up 1,000 times to them. They still don't get it. And they're like, have you eaten lunch? Have you eaten breakfast? Okay,
The
that's all.
completely different
It's
topic,
okay.
though.
Yeah, yeah. Then enough. Okay, you want money? No need? Oh, perfect. Okay. And it's like, you know.
But it was such a nice time. I
Thank
had a
you.
great time. Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast.
Yes.
So that was our page one of the diary of the startup
Woo.
founder. So finishing off with Ruchira Rangaprasad. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I can't wait for your Valentine's one. I'm gonna get the ticket as soon as I
Yes.
get paid.
Yeah, and like, share, and subscribe
Like-
to Diary of a Startup Founder
Yes.
podcast, guys.
Thank you so much, Ruchira.
Thanks, Vidya.